Thank you for choosing our Patio Heat channel. I'm Steve. We provide tips and information to extend the enjoyment of your patio project. Our videos give you a knowledgeable overview prior to investing in your outdoor heating equipment. Whether you are a professional or owner builder, we provide specific details for optimum heat coverage for your application. Post a comment or question, or for developed visual designs, send your request into designs@patioheat.com. We're here to work with you. For over 30 years, patio heating is the bedrock of our business, expressing what works best. Now let's get heating. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at this application. This is a residential application, and let's go first into the overall dimensions that I have. So overall dimensions I have here at 28'6" to the outside edge of the beams coming up here, or posts coming up here. And then I have from the wall here to the outside edge of the beam here, or post rather, roughly about 15 foot, so 14 foot 11 and 1/4. I have a ceiling height of 10'6" to the ceiling up here to the finished floor. And then this section over here, just so you can see, I have it at 14'3" from the inside edge of the post to the inside edge of this wall here. The fans, they told me that there's going to be fans located in 2 of them in the patio structure itself. I have them, I think, at 11 foot center to center, so 11 foot from here to here. And the dimension I have that I've made up is 4 foot 2 3/4 of an inch in diameter. Also, there's 6 sets of recessed lights as well as a speaker. And I'll show you why I placed the lights and the speakers in the positions that I did here in a minute. I think that's about it. So let's go ahead and turn that off and look at what I would recommend. They want flush mount units, but this is where I would place them. So these are the flush mount units. I have placed them here in the ceiling, and I want to go ahead and take off that ceiling so we can get a better look at why I'm going to do what I'm going to do here in a minute. So these are from here to here. I have this at 8 foot center to center. Let's see if I have those distances on here. So yeah, you can see that I have from the middle of the heater to this center of the heater, and this heater is centered within the patio structure itself. I have that at 8 foot, and then from here to here, I have this at 9 foot 5 3/4 of an inch. The reason why I have that is because this is standing room over here between the 2 counters here, and if you were to place them, you know, at the same distance apart from each other, let's just go ahead and move this over here to the left here, you know, roughly 8 foot, you'd be heating up most of the counter space itself. Let's go ahead and turn that ray on so you can see. So we're putting almost half of the infrared light wave onto this countertop area here. So that's why I am choosing not to do that. So let's go ahead and put that back where I had it here for a second, and look at some of the other things that we'll talk about. And that is that this is a 4,000 watt unit. So the reason I'm choosing a 4,000 watt unit here is because this is basically standing room only. And if you were to use a 6,000 watt unit, then yes, you could, but you really want to have a control panel to where you can dim this down. You would probably never use it at a full power unless it's extremely cold at some point. But I'm using this as a 4,000 watt because if you're sitting here at this counter cooking and, you know, serving things of that nature, then it would be probably way too hot at a 6,000 watt unit. Now this one here, I'm not 100% certain of if there's seating positions over here or not. I moved this table. I did have it placed in a 90-degree opposite direction, but there might be, you know, bar stool seating height over here. And if you were to take bar stool seating height, let's go ahead and just throw a bar stool in here for a minute. Give me 1 second here. See if I can throw something in here real quick. So, you know, if I was to put a bar stool here and you were to be sitting here, you can see that you're sitting much higher than you would be in a normal sitting, you know, table type of position. So you're closer to the heater, and that intensity is going to be much more hotter. If you're sitting here at the bar, So you definitely want a control on a 6,000 watt, and you can see this is a dual unit 6,000 watt unit, or a 4,000 watt if you're not going to use a control. So that's just something to note. 4,000 watt at the 10 foot 6 inch mounting height is kind of pushing it though for bar stool seating even. So I'd probably really want to go with a 6,000 watt heater here and a control system. Again, if you were to utilize this with a 6,000 watt unit, a control system is kind of a must over here. 6,000 watt here, sitting in a normal dining space at 10 foot off the finish, 10 foot 6 off the finished floor is probably ideal, and you'd probably use it at the higher output of the unit itself. So something just to think about. A control system really makes the whole system comfortable for whatever type of weather you're experiencing, and temperatures and things of that nature. Now let's look at this issue with regards to this fan location. You can see that I have this at 11 foot center to center from the middle point here, but we are not meeting the clearances to combustibles on this particular heater over here. Again, I had this one placed further over 9'5" because I'm in the center of this space here. And that's why I have this speaker over to the right a little bit further than what I had with the recessed lighting here. So the only thing I could really recommend, if this is appropriate as far as where you're going to place the heaters, then I would recommend moving these fans over roughly about 15, maybe 18 inches. Let's go ahead and just show you what that would look like. So here we go, moving that fan over, and now we're in that clearance area for whoops, sorry about that, for the heaters themselves. So again, I have this at a 4 foot 2 3/4 inch diameter, and we are right at that clearance edge right here, which is 18 inches from the heater edge, which is right here, the heater edge itself, not the flush mount kit, but the heater edge to the edge of the fan here. And there's enough room over here as well, but you do need 18 inches obviously from here, this edge here, to the fan as well. But that should be okay with regards to how I have these placed at that 8 foot. And of course with this here, that's not an issue over here, but it is something that we have to make sure we're meeting over here. So let's go ahead and look at the distance I have on these. So we have that information. Like I said, I think I just moved it over about 15, maybe 16.5 inches, something of that nature. But you can see, yeah, I have it at 8'1", center to center on those, and that should be something that works out just well. Now let's go ahead and look at the footprint of heat. So footprint of heat, you can see with a 6,000 watt, it's really designed for this sitting application. Over here, again, it's not going to be so well for this particular spot, but it would be okay for this position over here. So you might consider, like I said before, utilizing a 6,000 watt here, a 6,000 watt here, a 4,000 watt over here. But if you're going to have this as bar stool seating height, you definitely want to be able to control this particular unit over here. So I think that's about it for that. You can see that our footprint of heat is going to cover the majority of the space here. Now this footprint here is about 12 foot wide, so if you're occupying the space over here on the outer edge, it's something that we need to address. But I'm assuming that this is going to be kind of what the seating arrangement is going to be like. So lastly, this is look at the flush mount kit itself. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off these clearances, turn off some of these dimensions and distances here. So what you have here is you have the flush mount frame itself, which is this blue section here, and then you have this 5/8 drywall, which is going to be located inside of the flush mount frame. And then you have the unit itself. This is going to be a WD6024, 6,000 watt, 240 volt, 25 amps. And then you have the frame your structural frame. It's going to be something like this, where you're going to have, something like a 8 by 2 piece of lumber, and that's going to come across, possibly all the way to the edge. I don't know exactly how that structure is going to look, but let's go ahead and just, make this something that looks like what it would look like. Let's go ahead and put this here. So this would be the wooden structure itself, or framing around the unit. So you'd have the frame, and then you'd have, this placed over here as well. And then, of course, this is going to go all the way over to the other side. And that's how you would, this is just a brief knowledge of how, how you would mount the unit itself. You need a minimum, I believe it's 13 inches of distance between the two. So let's go ahead and see what that looks like here. Yeah, so we are at 13 inches minimum. And yeah, so something like that, just to think about. Placing the units, in an exact position is always best to have this designed by the structural engineer prior to the actual design of or construction itself. And then also, just to note, you have the flush mount frame. You can put a stucco, finished ceiling on this, or even a wood finish combustible ceiling. If it's a combustible ceiling, you need to move this down, the heater down. There's brackets that allow you to lower the unit based on the height of the wood structure. But let's just say you have some tongue and groove, something like this, and I'll just go ahead and make this maybe a ½ inch, and then we'll throw some wood finish on it here.
Thank you for choosing our Patio Heat channel. I'm Steve. We provide tips and information to extend the enjoyment of your patio project. Our videos give you a knowledgeable overview prior to investing in your outdoor heating equipment. Whether you are a professional or owner-builder, we provide specific details for optimum heat coverage for your application. Post a comment or question, or for developed visual design, send your request into designs@patioheat.com. We're here to work with you. For over 30 years, patio heating is the bedrock of our business, expressing what works best. Now let's get heating.
Ceiling back on here. And again, look at that footprint of heat. So if you had this, again, a 6,000 watt unit, it's going to be identical to this footprint here. If I was to, just move this over 8 feet, you can see that footprint is very nice for this sitting position over here. But again, this is going to be a lot hotter for bar stool dining, and obviously way too hot for standing over here. So if you had them all all 6,000 watt units, that's fine. You just need to make sure that you have a control system for that. So all right, well, I hope this has helped. If you're looking for some assistance with your outdoor heating application and you'd like us to review your plans, send your information into designs@patioheat.com. I'm Steve. Please, if you tap that like button, it'd very much help our channel out. We appreciate you doing that. Thank you very much. Have an excellent day.